Welcome back, everybody, to episode 8 of It Came from Beyond the Videostore Shelves, the video podcast where we go through all of the unwatched movies in my VHS collection, and we're going to check them out and see if anything's worth a fuck or not. And today, we're going to go back to 2001 and check out a B-title, direct-to-video zombie movie that's called Children of the Living Dead. So this particular copy I have is a screener from Artisan. It says it's from the executive producer of A Nightmare on Elm Street, which, you know, is not very impressive. It was trailered on Wishmaster 3, Ginger Snaps, and Deep in the Woods. I don't think I've ever seen Deep in the Woods. Wishmaster 3 was like the movie that ruined Wishmaster. The first two movies in the Wishmaster series was pretty good, and just part 3 blew ass. But you know, Ginger Snaps is a solid flick, man. I really enjoyed Ginger Snaps. Anyway, back to Children of the Living Dead. I had really high hopes going into watching this movie, even though it's obvious that it's a cheap film. It's obviously like a indie type deal. You could tell just by the cover art and the pictures on the back of this that it was not high end as far as production values goes. It definitely has that shot on video feel when watching this. Some people really dig that look. I'm kind of a take it or leave it personally. You know, the cheaper indie and shot on video stuff, it doesn't really bother me as long as the movie's good. You know, other people prefer that stuff. But anyway, the reason I was really looking forward to this was, first off, it was produced by John Russo, who of course was one of the writers on Night of the Living Dead. He was also a writer on Return of the Living Dead, even though it's questionable how much of his script was actually used in Return of the Living Dead, because there was a couple of rewrites and all kind of stuff like that. But yeah, John Russo was the producer on this film, and it also is Starwell. You can't really say starring because he wasn't in it a whole bunch, but Tom Savini is in this movie, which is, you know, one of the greatest horror effects artists out there. So I thought, you know, this could really be good with Savini and John Russo connected to it, but it was not. This is a huge steaming pile of crap, and I'm going to tell you guys why I think that. This movie didn't fucking make any sense. So basically, you have this guy, Abbott Hayes, who, as a child, had issues with his mother, which, you know, they always try to do mommy issues on all of these horror movies for some reason. But anyway, his mom dressed him up like a little girl his whole life. Nobody knew he was a boy. Everybody thought he was a girl. You know, sleepaway camp style. And anyway, he goes on to become a serial killer. He's abducting and murdering women, which they don't show you none of that in this film. They just kind of talk about it. But anyway, he goes to prison and he gets murdered in prison. And somehow the body disappears, and he goes back to his, you know, childhood property, which is a house. There's this big ass farmhouse, and there's a connecting graveyard. So at the beginning of this movie, you have Tom Savini, who was like the first person to die in this. He's in this movie maybe all of like 5 or 10 minutes. Savini is not in this movie for long, and he honestly doesn't do a good job. Really, he doesn't do that good of a job. I mean, this isn't, From Dusk Till Dawn Tom Savini by far. Anyway, the movie starts with Savini, his ex law enforcement partner, and a bunch of renegade coon asses hunting zombies down. They're killing all these zombies around this farm and, burning them to get rid of the bodies. And they run across all these kids that this zombie has locked up in this barn. They never tell you why he's locking kids up. I mean, they say that he didn't like women, that he was a woman murderer, but instead, he has this fucking horse stall full of children, boys and girls. So they never explain that. But anyway, Savini and his cop friend go in there. They save all the kids, and one of the little girls kind of is acting like there's something in the loft of this barn. So Savini goes into the loft to make sure the scene's clear, that they got all these zombies out. And, he kills a couple regular zombies, and then he comes across this fucking super zombie who's like, I don't know, half zombie, half mutant kind of man fucking thing. I don't know. He's not the typical zombie. I mean, Savini ends up shooting this thing a couple times. He never dies. He kills Tom. And apparently it's revealed that this is the zombie of Abbott Hayes in this hayloft, who was supposedly murdered in prison. So how he became a zombie and how he's in this hayloft and where all these other zombies come from, they don't explain any of that shit. None of it. So anyway, they fast forward like 14 fucking years to these teenagers who stop by this grave of, Abbott Hayes' mother. And Abbott Hayes just seems to appear out of the loft of this barn after fucking 14 years. Apparently, this movie wants you to believe that he was just hanging out in this barn for 14 years as a zombie and no one ever noticed. And, they have, at the beginning of the movie, they have this whole fucking militia of people killing zombies, but no one thought to go kill the one that was still in the barn that just killed Tom Savini. But anyway, these kids show up 14 years later. The Abbott Hayes zombie pops out. He ends up running, scaring these kids, and they run their fucking Volkswagen bus van fucking off the cliff, and they all die. And then it forwards again to another year in the future. And of course, Abbott Hayes zombie is still fucking hanging around. And what ends up happening is this rich family decides that they're going to purchase this land and they're going to build a used car lot. First off, I mean, this was filmed to look like it's a tiny ass remote town. I mean, there's a diner and a fucking like a motel, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, it's a small ass town, and these people decide that we're gonna buy this property to build this fucking massive car lot, which makes no fucking sense. You don't build a fucking big ass used car lot in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, they hire these crews and shit. They're gonna come in and they're gonna move all the graves and, tear down the barn and shit and turn this property into this used car lot and shit. So they're down here with all these crews, and they're digging up coffins, and they're finding coffins that are empty, and all this crap, and they're like, where's all these bodies at? And then they're putting all, instead of relocating these coffins in these grave sites, they decide that we're just going to build this trench and we're going to put all of them in the same trench and shit. And then, you know, it just keeps going nowhere. And, you know, it'll flash every once in a while to the Abbott Hayes fucking super zombie killing somebody. But this crew that's, you know, doing all the work and the foreman and shit on this used car lot is using the house as their office. But yet, the fucking zombie supposed to be in the house in the barn and shit. But yet, nobody fucking knows about it. It's like the Abbott Hayes is building all these zombies and recruiting all these zombies for his fucking super zombie army. But where the fuck are they? Where do they go? Do they go back underground, or are they just fucking hiding in some bushes during the day? They never say. Anyway, the shit comes to pass with, you know, the son of this fucking car salesman. One of the children that was kidnapped by the zombie as, you know, a teenager is working at this diner. So they get trapped in this diner after they realize that there's zombies. And like nobody's fucking making a big deal out of it. So they get trapped in here and they call in the townspeople. So they have this big fucking ballroom parking lot brawl with all these zombies in the fucking parking lot and shit. And the whole way they explain is just like, oh, well, you know, every couple years we get zombies around here. And we knew that there was this super zombie, but we didn't do anything about it. And now the zombies are back. And, you know, they're killing people. It's so fucking stupid, man. And, oh, man, it's just, I don't know how they fucking managed to release this. Like, it's that bad. It makes no fucking sense at all. No sense, man. And the movie goes nowhere. You know, they kill a bunch of zombies, but they don't fucking kill the Abbott Hayes zombie. At the end of the movie, he's just like going back to his fucking farmhouse or whatever. Man, it's bad. It's bad. It's been a long time since I've watched a zombie movie that was like this horrible. You know, they don't, like, it has nothing really going for it, man. I mean, most of the zombie makeup is not great. The story makes no fucking sense. I mean, they have this car lot and I don't know, man. This was definitely a fucking huge waste of time, man. I can't. Yeah, I think it'd be hard to find somebody who enjoyed this film, man. I mean, it's something else. Usually, you know, the bad thing about being a fan of zombie movies is there's a bunch of just cheap, crap-looking zombie movies. But usually, even like the cheaper zombie movies have at least an acceptable story. You know, their zombies might look like shit, the gore might look like shit, but at least the story's kind of there. Even if it's just a basic Night of the Living Dead ripoff where they're just like trapped in this building with these zombies are trying to get in. But this, man, it is definitely out there, man. It made no sense whatsoever. And they everything that should have been explained wasn't explained. It's like, where are the zombies coming from? Where are they going? The movie makes it appear like the whole town's scared to go out at night because of the zombies. So, You know, now out of nowhere, everybody's aware that there's zombies. So when the zombies are attacking, they're just like, oh, this again. You know, there's zombies outside. It's just, man, it's bad, man. It's so bad. I couldn't recommend this movie to anybody. Of course, I have a screener. I don't even remember where I got this, but I can't see, you know, if somebody wanted to buy a copy of this, I can't see this being more than like a buck, you know. It's definitely, if you wanted to watch probably one of the worst zombie movies ever made, you know, and fucking pick on it with your friends, it'd be good for that. If you want to spend $1 just to fucking sit down and fucking clown the shit out of a zombie movie, you know, search out Children of the Living Dead, because it's horrible. Nothing's good in this. I mean, the acting's not good. You know, the story wasn't good. The fucking, just nothing was good on this. They had no redeemable qualities in this movie to me. Just, it made no fucking sense whatsoever. Man, I'd have to give this a 2. And I think even giving it a 2 is being kind of generous. But I did sit through the movie. Yeah, I mean, I can't even think of anything that looked cool enough to even kind of talk about. You know, everything was just kind of subpar, you know. So, hey, to each his own, I guess. I would not recommend anybody wasting their time of Children of the Living Dead. I did not look into if this was streaming anywhere. I'm sure it is. I'm sure you could find it online. Apparently there was a DVD release, because that is printed on the back of the box. But yeah, I wouldn't seek this out. I highly doubt that there's a Blu-ray of this. I don't think any company would have wasted money to release a Blu-ray of Children of the Living Dead. This is one of them films that needs to just be lost to time and go away, you know. But anyway, I might be wrong, man. If there's anybody out there who enjoyed Children of the Living Dead, who thought it was decent, by all means, hit me up in the comments and let me know what you thought about it. I thought it was a fucking big ass pile of zombie turds, but you know, kind of is what it is. It's definitely the worst movie I've watched so far. This is the worst film that I've came across, which kind of hurt my feelings, because I was really looking forward to this when I pulled this out, and got to looking into what it was. Because I have a screener, it doesn't have any information on it other than executive producer of Nightmare on Elm Street. I did see pictures of the retail release of this, and you know, it's billed with Tom Savini. His name is on the other cover, where I would say starring Tom Savini on it, even though he's only in the movie for a couple minutes. But when I looked this up online and I found out that Tom Savini's in it and John Russo was the producer, I was like, man, you know, I was sleeping on this. I really thought that this was going to be a great fucking movie. It is not. It is not a great movie. And, you know, I probably could have saved myself some time if I read the reviews. But when I look these movies up on like IMDb or something, I like to take a peek at them, especially with a screener where they don't have much information about the movie on the box other than, you know, pay-per-view windows and cable holdbacks and pre-order release dates and all that kind of shit. The screeners, if you don't know what a screener is, that they would send copies of movies out before they were released to video stores and other places for the owners to watch the film and decide if they wanted to order and carry this in their video stores. So a lot of this is information on, you know, how much was this going to cost. And this sold for $30 a unit on VHS and $24.98 a unit on DVD at release, which, you know, is definitely cheap seats, because at this time VHS tapes were selling, you know, $60 to $100 to video stores. But yeah, man, it was bad. But yeah, anyway, like I was saying, when I look these movies up on IMDb, if I want to get some different information, like what year they came out and all that kind of shit, I try not to look at reviews, you know, not to get unbiased opinions from other people and what other people thought about it. I like to come into these completely blind, you know. I'll read the back of the box, and that's pretty much it, other than, you know, who's starring in it and stuff. And I was excited, man, when I saw Russo and Savini's name attached to this film, but I'm pretty sure this is the one they both want to forget, man, because it's bad. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, man. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the support. If you want to listen to the podcast versions of these episodes, we're out there. We're on Amazon. We're on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Just check out It Came from Beyond the Video Store Shelves, and you'll find us. And until next time, man, that's going to be it. And, you know, hopefully the next tape we take a look at is going to be a lot better than Children of the Living Dead, man. Thank you, guys. Abbott, hey.
You don't really believe those old ghost stories, do you?
Rumors have it he's still running around these parts of the country.
I seen what's outside, and I don't want it to see me.
All 5 bodies are gone.
This town has a history you don't know anything about.
What the hell are they?
They're zombies.